I will now read a press release regarding the violent eviction of the Palestine protest camp at Altis Akaha. At 11 p.m. on Wednesday, May the 8th, Austrian police stormed the Palestine Solidarity Camp using Vega units, surveillance vans, police dogs, lorries, and a crane. Taking place late at night, the violent eviction occurred with little to no witnesses, while students were forcibly removed from the camp by around 200 armed police officers. Police units surrounded the encampment, blocked all exits, and expelled journalists from the premises. The police gave no indication or legal reasoning as to why the camp was being demolished. 2 days prior, on May 6th, students established a solidarity camp on the University of Vienna campus at Altis Akaha. The university sought to decisively distance itself from the camp in a cowardly statement on May 6th. Over the course of the next 2 days, the camp hosted a vibrant physical and political space for community, education, and political mobilization, in which hundreds of community members converged to share food, knowledge, and solidarity in defiant protest against their institutions' complicity in ongoing genocides globally. The University of Vienna and campus security collaborated with the Vienna police, the Vega, and the Verfassungsschutz by locking down the campus from 10 p.m. until 6 a.m. on the morning of May the 8th and forcibly evicting the camp in the middle of the night to ensure that there would be no witnesses to this violence inflicted on students and non-students alike for demanding that their institutions divest from genocide, apartheid, and the global military-industrial complex. 4 students courageously refused to leave after the police stormed the encampment in order to prevent the eviction and protect the camp. 3 of the students were then physically removed from the camp, isolated, and detained.
Shame!
Another student resisted disbursement by climbing a nearby tree and remained until approximately 8 a.m. on May the 9th. Meanwhile, hundreds of supporters spontaneously gathered outside the Altis Akaha in solidarity, blocking trams and traffic at the intersection of Alsterstrasse and Spitalgasse. Police officers kettled the last remaining students on campus premises before kicking them out of the Huf 1 altogether, including by making racist remarks during this arbitrary conduct, such as telling one protester that the non-German speaking comrades should go back to where they came from. The student inside the camp was denied legal assistance for hours, and only one person of trust was allowed to enter after the protesters loudly and actively advocated for the students' legal rights. The students outside of Altis Akaha continued to protest into the morning of May 9th, occupying the tram lines and disrupting business as usual. Early that morning, they continued their protest all the way to the police detention center at Rausauerlande, where they demanded the release of their fellow activists and against the destruction of the camp, with a line of police vehicles tailing them. Once they arrived at the paths, they were met with a line of 7 police vans, including a police surveillance van. Within minutes of their arrival, 30 people were aggressively surrounded by police and not allowed to leave. Unprovoked, police officers physically assaulted protesters and threatened arrest as a form of intimidation. Police eventually forced all protesters to show identification, over 20 students, and forced several protesters to also have their faces photographed. Despite facing state and police repression, the students expressed their continued commitment to the liberation of Palestine and of all colonized people. Posted on their social media statement, a statement reads, "We stand firmly behind our demands, especially after this night. It has been proven how urgent it is to end the cooperation between the universities, the police, and military. We are fighting back against repression and against the complicity of the Austrian media." The students' demands are clear. Demilitarize the university, boycott research collaborations and Erasmus partnerships with Israeli universities, publicly disclose and divest from all investments that fuel and profit off genocide, cease all university-led surveillance and police projects, and finally, most fittingly, end fascist repression on campus. The ground invasion by the Israeli occupation forces into Rafah, shortly after rejecting a truce deal and where 600,000 refugees are being starved to death, further underscores the urgency of the students' demands. In conclusion, we are calling for students, faculty, staff, and all those beyond the boundaries of the neoliberal university to stand with us and to stand with Palestine and the Palestinian liberation struggle. We will not be intimidated by threats from the state. Disclose, divest,